Hey everybody, so welcome to week 1 of Blueprint Reading 2. So here's our agenda for this week. So this week we're going to focus on Unit 20 of your textbook, and in Unit 20 it focuses on roof construction terms. We're also going to take a look at the 5 most common types of roofs, and we'll work on quickly being able to identify them for interpreting construction drawings. And then in the second part, we're going to be looking at an introduction to roof trusses PowerPoint. And the PowerPoint's really not that long. It's 7 slides, I believe. And it's going to introduce you to some of the key terms that I want you to be aware of for roof trusses. And in week 2, we're going to actually be taking a look at this in a lot more detail. We're actually going to be learning how to interpret and understand a truss drawing, and I'll show you guys how to do that with an actual truss plan for one of the City of La Crosse homes that we did a few years ago. So what are your assignments for the week? So we're going to read Unit 20 of your textbook. You're going to review the PowerPoint on trusses. And then when you're ready, you're going to click on the week 1 assignment link and complete the questions. So we're going to have, it looks like 15 questions, and then the questions are going to be worth a total of 30 points. And then after you've completed the assignment questions, then you're going to write a journal entry, which is basically a small paragraph on some key points that you learned for this week's content. And so the journal entry is going to be worth a total of 10 points. So what I thought I would do is just click in the week 1 content here and kind of give you guys an idea of what we got here. So here's your week 1 assignment link. So basically when you're ready, you'll click on that. And then after you're done with the questions, you can do your journal entry. I've also got the roof truss PowerPoint here. Just simply click on that link. And then I added this how to read a MyTech drawing. Now we'll actually be doing this next week, but I just put this in here. So if you guys want to open it up and take a peek at it before next week, that would be great. We're going to be hitting this in a lot more detail. So that's what's in the week 1 assignment folder. So here's what I thought I would do. I would just get you guys thinking about, so remember I said 5 different styles of roofs. So the main styles that you guys are going to be seeing for the most part it's going to be a gable roof, a hip roof, a shed roof, a gambrel roof, and then the last one would be a mansard roof. So maybe I'll just go in, and I've got some examples here that I might just show you really quickly. So if you're looking at a gable roof, for example, a gable roof would be one of the most, I would say, easily identifiable roofs. It's a real common roof that you'll see in construction. So if we look at this here, this would be an example of just a gable roof. It's sloped on both sides. All right, so drive around and start taking a look at that. So this happens to be a garage. Here's a shed with a gable roof on it. Many different homes have gable roofs, so it's a real easy one to look at. So what about a hip roof, guys? So a hip roof is going to be a roof style that's going to be sloped on all 4 sides. So it's something like this, okay? A hip roof would look something like this. So if you walked around all all 4 sides of this house, it would have an eave around the whole thing. So a hip roof is another very common style of roof. Here's another example of it here. All right, so all 4 sides of the roof are sloped. How about a shed roof? Oh, right here. A shed roof. Think of a shed roof, guys, as basically 1/2 of a gable, right? So if I took 1/2 of a gable roof off, I'd be looking at a roof like this. So we call that a shed roof, or sometimes it's a lean-to roof. So if you hear the term lean-to, it's basically meaning the same thing as a shed roof, okay? So that's a shed roof. There's one right here that we can look at here. So gambrel roof. So when I think of a gambrel roof, I think of a barn, right? So that's the easiest way for me to, like, in my noodle, think about that style of roof. So here's an example of a gambrel roof. It's a unique looking style of roof. Okay, here's just a picture of one here. But let's look right here. So here's a gambrel roof on an older style home. Here's another example of it right here. Okay. Gambrel roofs are all over in the city of La Crosse and in some older neighborhoods like city of Onalaska, or just drive around in the area that you guys are from. Take a look at some of these older styles. Okay, here's another example of it right here. And then the last one, guys, is something called a mansard roof. So I've actually found some pictures of some mansard roofs. So if you see a roof style that looks like this, where you have, you know, windows coming out of the roof, you know, here's a good example here, but here, it's a very, very unique style of roof. All right, so here's a mansard, here's a mansard. So in the city of La Crosse, this was actually quite a popular style of roof many, many years ago. You don't see it a lot in new construction these days, but in some of the older styles of homes, you would see this quite a bit. So take a look around. It's a very unique looking roof. Okay, so those are some of the basic styles of roofs. So get yourself familiar with that as you're driving around. Also, just be aware that sometimes there's going to be a combination of some of these styles of roofs. So, for example, hip or gable sometimes are, you know, there's a combination of both of them on new homes. So you're going to see typically on new construction a lot of hip and a lot of gable types of roofs. Okay, so that's our roof style. So Unit 20 is going to discuss that. We're also going to be learning about roof pitch and some of the terms on some of the trusses. Okay, so spans, rise and run, that type of thing. All right. So the last thing I'd like to do is just kind of give you a brief look at the truss PowerPoint here. So maybe I'll just go into it here. So basically, when you guys are looking at this, it's just telling you some basic information. So what is a truss, right? A truss is a manufactured assembly used to support a load over a long span. They're custom, pre-made to fit a specific application. So they're engineered and built by manufacturing facilities, all right? So what you should know is the definition here and then how they're made, all right? You know, and then there's other information here. So they can't be modified by us. You know, they can only be repaired with specific instructions given by an engineer. So an example would be if a truss gets damaged out in the job site somehow, we have to go and call the truss manufacturer company and then get a truss repair for that specific truss. Okay. Loads. What are loads? So we have live loads and we have dead loads. So live loads are moving and changing loads. It's wind, snow, people, stored goods, etc. So, you know, furniture, all that kind of stuff. So think of a live load. If you're standing inside the house, you're standing on a deck, or you have a load on a roof. All of that stuff is going to be designed for that type of a load. The next one is a dead load. That's permanent load, so that's like the building materials themselves, other trusses and other components that are on the house. So keep in mind that houses are designed with these two loads in mind, right? Whether it's a floor load or something on a deck, or in our case, we're looking at trusses or roof loads, roof trusses. The trusses are always going to be designed and engineered to meet these two different criteria right here. All right. Next is girder trusses. So you guys should just get to know what those girder trusses are and what the purpose of them are. So it's to hold the weight of other trusses. They can support other girder trusses that support the weight of multiple trusses. The next slide, I have some YouTube pictures of some different types of trusses. All right, and then this drawing here is going to be types of MyTech drawings. So when you guys get a truss package delivered out to the job site, you're going to always have the same types of information. So you'll have a packet of information. So you're going to have a truss delivery list. You're going to have, in some cases, a 3D drawing of the house if it's a complicated house. You'll have a truss layout plan. You'll have a hanger placement plan if there's hangers required for different types of trusses and girder trusses, for example. And then you'll have truss details. It's very specific information for each truss. So like the engineered drawings, okay, which we'll get into in more detail next week. All right, so just get to know that basic information, guys, about roof trusses, and you're going to be much farther along when you start getting into next week's content. Okay, so that's basically that. So just let me go back and I'll just recap. We're going to basically look at Unit 20. We're going to look at the 5 most common types of roof styles. You're going to watch the truss PowerPoint. And you're going to then go into your assignments folder and do the week 1 assignment by clicking on the link, and then you'll do your journal entry. So this week is basically, that's it, I guess I should say. We don't have a whole lot of other information I want to introduce for the week. So with that, I'll end it right here. So as always, if you have any questions, feel free to contact me personally via email, or you can call me. If you have general questions, I would suggest maybe using the discussion board for those, and I can police that, or I'll be on it. I shouldn't say police it, I will be on it, and I can help you guys too if you have any other questions. So have a good week, everybody, and we will see you soon.